Hey everyone, Rather Incoherent here, back with more Rome Total War Remastered as Germania. We continue on, what is this, turn 21? 24. And I haven't played this campaign for a little while. I had a break in my recording, and then once I got back, I just recorded the Julii until it finished. The reason I mention this is threefold. The first is at some point my graphic settings seems to have switched to low, so hopefully it hasn't been like that for too many videos, and I've just switched them back to ultra. Second of all, I've cranked up the sound a little bit. And third of all, I've opted in for the public beta for patch 1.01, which specifically fixes a little bit of the movement bugs that happen in sieges, not anywhere close to all of them, but it's a step in the right direction. And all of that's only going to be happening on Germania moving forward because I've recorded all of the remaining Julii episodes at this point. Now, enough of that, let's get into this campaign we're actually playing. And first, let's see how we're doing. I need to be Supreme Ruler of Rome with at least 50 provinces. I'm currently at 22 and working on that Rome part. We're number one in everything except finances and population. In population, we're real close, and in finances, we're at bottom of the pack. Looking at the military ranking of all factions, I'm doing incredibly well. The only person even close, as always, was Egypt, and they seem to be getting destroyed, I think, by Parthia right now. Let's quickly check if that's correct. Yeah, Egypt is currently fighting the Armenian-Parthian alliance, which is what happens when you take this Seleucid protectorate, I guess. So, I need to work on that settlement count, which is, makes sense. Last we left off, I had been losing settlements to Gaul and Dacia, not exactly getting things to work how I wanted. But I believe I was in the process of fixing all this. And I guess first things first. I can't quite get there this turn with this unit. Oh, that's not going to win the siege by any stretch of the imagination, is it? I believe this siege started last turn, which means they will never actually finish the siege. The units, or the enemy AI rather, will always take at least 2 turns to build siege weaponry and attack. They'll never do it the first turn. So this should be okay. If it's not, we'll have to immediately take the city back, and I'll be very sad about that. Regardless of whether or not they're okay, though, I'm going to send more units west from here to join up with this army and make sure that if there are any Gallic stacks in Fog of War, they're not going to be a problem. Because this army has places to be. I guess, hilariously, this other army is going to be what finishes him off. Because I want both of these stacks getting on the boats, finishing off the Julii, who currently have their faction leader as, if I recall correctly, a bribed family member of mine that has wandered off into the steppe over here. So, that's bizarre, but it'll be a rebel soon. Is this their faction leader? My man, what are you doing? Alright, so let's kill their faction leader, I suppose. My reinforcements are Spear Warband, so that's something I'll bother waiting for. This should be a pretty easy fight. So what I've done here is pretty straightforward. This is probably the best way I can think of to handle an enemy general. I have my least experienced warbands in the front. I have it double thick. I have more warbands behind because I expect this general to push all the way through. And once the fight's engaged, I'm going to have my cavalry come around the sides and collapse in on him to surround him and have the highest chance of killing him. Right now I've just been waiting for the stamina to get back up on my units. And now that it has, it's time to get into this. I'm pretty sure that if I just have my phalanx walk right at him, he's not going to do anything to stop it. But I'm not certain of that. It looks like I'm right, though. I mean, this is going to start looking like a really terrible plan once it starts for a couple of seconds until my cavalry gets around and the flank happens. It looks like I need to take a couple of steps forward. That should be enough to trigger this, I think. And I need to wait for him to hit me, otherwise when I move my cavalry, he's going to turn around. There we go. Victory seems certain. I really didn't expect them to pull it off. I think so lowly of my phalanxes, don't I? Alright. Hopefully they don't rout immediately, because I'm not convinced I'll be able to get their general for sure. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to get their general for sure, unless he's this man specifically. Which he might be. Oh my god, he was. So, on the bright side, we only lost 34 men fighting that faction leader unit. On the downside, we didn't fucking kill him, so it's not worth anything right now. Let's see where he goes and make sure we run him down. I do not want that getting away. That's unfortunate. He's retreating. Oh, he's going to go all the way this way, isn't he? Oh, he's going the wrong direction, it looks like. This might actually be a direction I can catch him. Where are you going? Sir. Sir, where are you go- This is a very sick moonwalk. Yeah, he's going all the way to the left. He's just taking a very roundabout way to do it. I'm trying to track where I think he'd be walking to in the fog of war. I don't need to do that. I have a diplomat right here. I can just go look for him.
Can I be of service? Yes, master.
Okay.
Yes.
If I wanted to, could I kill him?
Yes.
No, he's literally too far away. He's the only surviving member of his unit. Jesus Christ. At least I got a famous warrior for it. And to remind you, famous warrior is insane. +1 command, +1 morale for all troops on the battlefield. So first, let's go grab the other army. And I had said that this army's purpose was to go straight to Massilia.
General.
But I think I've changed my mind about that.
Orders. Move out.
Oh, whoops, I sent them inside the city instead. It looks like the unit I care about the least is honestly this unit of cavalry. I've got 3 family members and already on the boat 4 units of cavalry, so I just want more infantry. The problem is I'm very low on movement, so the best I can do is to drop them off here and wait to pick them up again next turn. And because that has a very high chance of going wrong, I'm going to be building a new boat this turn. Because, you know, pirates just know where you are and attract to you instantly. Now, the reason I'm sending him west instead of towards Corsica and Sardinia and then on to Carthage is if this man goes to Massilia, I want to be able to cut him off immediately. I want to see that he goes here and put the city under siege to kill him before that unit can regenerate. If he goes east, no problem, he'll just die with the rest of this army. But I want to make absolutely sure that I don't do all this work to kill the general and then just let him get away with a single unit. Now next, this army, despite lacking a commander, should be plenty good enough to kill. This cavalry should probably go get retrained in Alesia. And this stack will have to go fight the city without a commander, which always feels sketch. But it shouldn't really be a problem. They've got 3 warbands, I've got phalanx warbands, I mean, should just be a stomp, right? Now Britannia up here is definitely going to war with me, that's quite obvious. I will try to build phalanx warbands in all the nearby towns and establish some sort of defense. But I mean, I'm not too convinced that it's actually going to work. I need to repair the muster field here. Oh, that's right, I have a huge amount of money because my previous turn I had used all my money to retrain units down here in southern Italy. And now I have so many more people in my empire and so much more land that I actually am making a massive profit every turn. So I need to actually go around to my cities and figure out which ones grew and make sure that I start them training and also repair all the things that were damaged. So at this point I've completed all the repairs around my empire that I need to be doing, as well as all of the cities that have grown with Warlord's holds. Now since I'm trying to deal with this army, I've been thinking about infrastructure, specifically what units I want to build. Obviously I can keep going Spear Warbands and Barbarian Cavalry until the end of the campaign, but I can do better than that. Obviously when these towns grow, I want them to reduce the Noble Cavalry that I'm making down in Italy. But I have a couple cities that don't have stables yet. And in these cities, if I can, I would really like to actually get them working towards... Well, apparently, I don't have any cities large enough to make this decision, except for Vicus Gothi, which is kind of on the edge of the map and useless. Mediolanum is the first city I have that actually gets to make this choice. All of my other cities already have started working towards stables, but Mediolanum specifically doesn't have anything yet. And I'm realizing I should probably actually make practice ranges. The reason for this is straightforward. At tier 2, the practice range becomes an archery range, and I jump straight past archers to the chosen archer warband, which is just an incredibly good archer unit. It has decent range, decent attack, loads of ammo, high morale, surprisingly good melee stats. It is a good archer unit, and I don't have access to any archer units right now, so I need a couple of cities producing these. So next turn, once the city is no longer under siege and building it will actually work, I'm going to start the practice range here. But for now, I probably have a better use for these $1,700. But let's get back into the actual things we were doing, namely, pushing this man off of the city. Now, walking straight there doesn't work, and it looks like they finally have enough population to retrain these spearmen, which is good, because God knows they need it. If I were to go fight them, I just have a general and a unit of light cavalry. I can do this with just the general and the light cavalry. I don't like it, but I can do it. Let me first check for mercenaries. I can't justify hiring barbarian mercenaries. These guys are just so bad. Morale 4, defense 10, melee 7, charge 4. They die very quickly. They break the moment they start dying. They aren't actually that good in a fight. I could buy one just for safety, but I don't need it. I'm not going to do it. Fuck. This seems so much sketchier without one unit of infantry, so I'm going to buy him and hate myself for it. Like, I've done all the infrastructure I really need to do this turn. That's not true. I haven't recruited cavalry down here. But I've got a city siege going on, so I guess worst case scenario I can exterminate Cronin for money, which I might be doing. But let's go do this. Okay. So what I'm actually doing here is not fighting the enemy. What I'm doing here is convincing the enemy to come fight me. My plan is to simply convince them that they're in danger and make them chase this unit of light cavalry until they're all exhausted, at which point I'll come kill them. They don't necessarily need to chase it, they just need to rotate to try to deal with it. They routed. They haven't been in a fight yet and they routed. That was depressing. Alright, continue trying to tire them out, little buddy. You got this. Just don't lose your nerve this time. Nope. It's just too many dudes. It's really scary. Look, I'll bring my army up a little bit. Will that give you more assurance? I think maybe the fact this unit keeps coming out of ambush and, like, revealing itself is reducing his morale. Because the fact that he's routing without even being engaged in combat is really bizarre. But yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. They're going to keep rotating to prevent him from getting the flank on them, which will eventually tire them out. We've got them down to winded already. And this cost us literally nothing. We've got them down to very tired and tired. And now they're down to exhausted, very tired, so we're going to move the rest of our units in. So, our plan here is pretty straightforward. Phalanx is on one side, Barbarian Peasants on the other. General starts to flank. And Phalanx maybe actually get in formation. No reason to let them actually catch their breath. I'm to keep running this unit around in a circle. The other unit's over here, if I recall correctly. But I honestly have not been paying attention because I've kind of zoned out running in circles around the enemy at this point. The enemy is just completely exhausted. Well, exhausted and very tired, but they really don't have anything they can do here. Gonna have these charge, have my cavalry start repositioning. My actual, real cavalry, my general's cavalry. Gonna have these move all the way up to the battle line. And this is just going to rout them instantly. They're already exhausted.
The enemy army is running like a startled goat. Hunt him. Goats make good eating.
And it looks like their army is trying to retreat at this point. I can't really tell. Yeah, definitely. So now it's the bloody business of running them all down. Very sad fight. Yeah, so we lose 13 men. Just absolutely murdered them. Fatigue abuse feels very gamey, but I also can see no reason not to do it. I'm a little bit salty that these guys said they weren't able to make it, because now it looks like they totally could have, since he's standing where that army was. I'm very convinced I right-clicked on them earlier and it showed me a red line, so I don't know why I wasn't able to make it when it was an attack instead of a move command. Regardless, though, everything's working out fine. Better than fine, actually, because it means I get to take a second to breathe and retrain more units here. Or, hypothetically, I would if I had money and they had population, which only one of those is happening at the moment. It was never my intention that this army would just go to Spain and I would bring this one around to Massilia before going to Africa with it. But now that it's working out that way, it seems like a decently efficient set of routes. Over here, it is unfortunate that I was never able to hire the mercenaries in this land because there are so many of them, but it doesn't look like I'm going to need them. This city looks like it will be able to defend itself, probably. Let's finish off the Brutii and kill the city of Croton, I'm unsure if I should enslave or exterminate. It kind of depends on how much money I get for enslaving. I really want the money to retrain this unit, but that's only 304 gold. Actually, I almost definitely will, because I need to recruit 2 units of Barbarian Noble Cavalry, which runs me 600 each. So I need around 1,500 denarii from this for me to feel good about enslaving. Otherwise, these people are getting exterminated. Now looking at the armies, this is almost certainly an easy fight. It's just a question of how do you play it. And I mean, isn't that the most obvious thing in the world? Spear warbands go in the city and do their phalanx thing. You use your faction heir to kill their general when you need to, because their general is in fact their faction leader. So we're doing the thing we always do. We've brought our units up to the gate, skirmishers to cover the entrance. And we're going to be trying to push through once we actually have the position to do it.
Enemy walls are down.
Excuse me? I'm very confused. There's a reinforcement Hastati army right here, apparently. I wasn't expecting this. I'm going to be really interested in watching the editing of this video, because I didn't know there were reinforcements coming. Okay, as soon as this is in phalanx formation, I'm going to pull the Samnites back through it. No reason for them to fight this battery when... No reason for them to fight this battle when the phalanx can do it so much more effectively than they can. Now this phalanx run down so it can look the other direction in case reinforcements do eventually come. So right now I'm just juggling all my units around. It looks like this phalanx will get in just in time, but even if they aren't in position, it's town watch, they'll be fine.
The enemy from his own walls. The way to victory is open.
And it looks like they are going to be nowhere in position because of the classic spinning that happens when you're trying to tell your units to move quickly and get information inside of a city. They almost did it, though. They were only like 10 seconds late. Oh, shit, it was only like 5 seconds late, even. Look at them go. They're so close to acceptable. This should still be more than enough to kill Town Watch, though. I mean, it's kind of a trash unit. And here I'm going to have my phalanx just move up a little bit and actually make sure this Hastati starts getting destroyed. Is this their general coming to fight? Wasn't expecting that. Got my general come in over here then. Wait, was he able to go through the gate? Apparently we have the gate. And both of these units are routing, but in different directions, weirdly enough. I'm hearing battle music all of a sudden? I don't know why. There appears to be no battle happening. Alright, I'm going to try to bait with my light cavalry here, because it seems pretty easy to do. Okay, we've got the general coming. That's what I wanted to say. So now, based on precedent, I'm pretty sure he just keeps going and crashes all the way in. Guys, keep going. Do not stop there. Pretty sure he's just going to trickle into this phalanx and get murdered. Because this is all of my phalanxes stacked on top of each other. Or, not a whole lot's going to happen. He is leading the charge himself, which seems questionable. Hilariously, he's going to just run a whole lap around the city and try to hit him from the rear at this point. I now realize I should have had my general on the other side to begin with, but I'll have him start running a lap around the city too. Yeah, defeat still seems certain. It looks so fucking nasty, but it is going extraordinarily according to plan.
Truly, this is a day of omens. The Roman leader is dead. Let us slaughter his weakling followers.
Now the important thing here is that my, not Equites, Barbarian Cavalry is over here. I can actually tell them to come down this out. Oh, they're retreating through me again. Well, I guess I don't need to run them down because they're doing it themselves. Thanks for that. In that case, I'm going to have these go the other direction and just hang out up here for a little bit. Do not go through the square, please. I like you being alive. Okay, so what I've done here is pretty straightforward. I've set up my units on either side of the town square, here at this fork in the road, here at this plaza. I'm going to go pull them back with town skirmishers. Town skirmishers, Illyrian skirmishers. And once I've got them to chase after somebody, I don't really care who, I'm going to then try to get them flanked by my cavalry, which are set up in these two roads over here. It seems unclear which side exactly they're going to go for right now. It's looking like they want to go right. But that means my general gets to come take the square. Same for this cavalry. And at this point, you guys should probably start running. These Illyrians are going to have a bad time when these spears hit them, aren't they? 159 drops down to 150. 143, 141. Yeah, 18 people dead. I actually want all of this to back off, I think. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to come after my cavalry if I leave them up here. Because I expected them to leave the square like an idiot instead of expecting them to, Hey, I know it's complicated. Pathfinding's hard. But leaving the square doesn't involve coming into the center of it, guys. Just so we're perfectly clear for future reference. You don't need to do that. Come on, Julii. Or come on, Brutii. Stop wasting my time. Come fight me. Alright, at this point I'm going to pull them back. Which is probably well too late for them. But it's fine. They can just be merged into the other unit. I don't need them to be well. I just want to avoid any chance of my general dying. And I don't want to lose 200 men in this fight. They really just gonna hang out? They're good right there? Yeah, they still have more javelins. Nice. Okay, so it looks like with this sort of town square, they have very little interest in leaving if all you have for bait is javelins. That's actually fine. It's just a little bit tedious for me. You guys actually gonna be in position before they get here? Or are you actually about to get flanked while you're getting in position? Gonna put your spears down? You, no, just want to die? Alright, cool. I mean, I'm used to it. That's what I'm expecting at this point, but I'm always hopeful that I'll be wrong. At this point, my general can come in once the battle is engaged for a long period of time. He can participate. Defeat's almost a certainty. Are you serious, guys? Why do you think that? Please stop. I didn't even realize I had you selected, let alone that I was right-clicking. You're losing well enough without my mismanagement. Are you routing? No, no, you're spinning. Which is like routing, only you're pretending you haven't given up. Like, it's very frustrating to try to give these guys controls about how much they should spend. Because it doesn't remember the last point you've spun them to when you're trying to spin them, if you try to, like, give a little bit more spin. But if you start walking them and they haven't completely finished spinning, like, it's just so imprecise. Can I drag them like that? That would probably be the best way to do it if I want to do movement commands, now that I realize it. Anyway, still only winded. I'm not going to be sending my cavalry in. These guys were completely unopposed, right? This guy threw his life away because I told him to do anything and they gave him a halt command, which for some reason results in spinning. And this guy just didn't put his spears down. We're finally getting there, though, now that the flank is happening. Guys, just pull back and try to actually get in position. They're not paying attention to you. You can stop losing men at this point if you just reposition properly. Okay, do that instead. Just get out of foul formation and stab them, I guess. That's what you want to do, so stop pretending. Now the Sam Knights get out of the way because these guys should be pretty close to tired at this point. Get out of the way, route. I mean, they're pretty similar commands. It's easy to mix them up. But anyway, Silver Chevron General coming into winded Principes with heavy wounds that are already being flanked. We know how this one's going to go. Yep, it was a fucking massacre. Like it should have been. Imagine fighting a faction leader and having the vast majority of your losses come from the town square instead. I feel like I could have managed that fight a lot better. As I recall, the threshold was 1,500 gold, and I don't get that, so I'm going to exterminate. Now, they still have enough population left that I can actually recruit here, which is good, because I'm going to need to. Now, these 3 units of destroyed mercenaries mean nothing to me at this point. But I guess there's not a whole lot of benefit of leaving them behind either. General. So I'm going to leave behind 1 spear warband and see how they're doing. They should be fine. They're not fine. They are the furthest thing in the world from fine. So if I lower the tax rate, look at their garrison bonus, it's only 15%. I can confidently say that they're not going to rebel if I just recruit another unit and retrain the one they have. Should probably repair their walls. And since this is a city that doesn't yet have a practice range, I'm going to want to build it, but first, let's get to the units in other towns that have to be built, which are Noble Cavalry in Tarentum and Capua, and retraining here in Narbo Mardius. I would have liked to enslave, because it could have gotten it to the point where I could recruit another unit here, but there's just not enough gold for that to even be an option. And honestly, looking at it, perhaps in Capua I should be building a boat? If Croton had built a port already, it would be simpler for me. But now it's unclear the best way to get these units out. Oh, no it's not. They're going to Rome and they'll get a boat once they're there. Just going to be combining the stacks, in which case, almost certainly these mercenaries aren't really going to be a part of the battle, they're just going to be a reinforcing army. So yeah, this man just needs to move towards Rome as quickly as he can. And then this stack needs to come with him. So let's see what Tarentum looks like without that garrison. Can I lower their taxes? I cannot. Which means something has to stay behind. And with the amount of heavy cav I'm going to have already in this army, weirdly enough, it looks like light cavalry is the superior choice to leave behind. Oh, they're still mad. Garrison 10%, huh? Well, you're going to have a whole hell of a lot of light cavalry garrisoning your city then. And eventually we'll sort this out and get these units onto a boat and replace them with peasants. But for now, war is on the horizon. We can't do that. I would like to fight this man who's just standing in the open. So first things first, let's see what garrison looks like when I leave behind only my worst units. Much like the other cities in southern Rome, they're fucking incredibly angry. If I were to throw this man back, they'd still be furious. So I kind of need to return this turn. Needs a strong word, isn't it? I don't actually care if Capua riots for a turn. So with that in mind, let's take everything. And they're willing to fight me in the field, which is what I was hoping for. Because I have massive cavalry superiority. 4 family members in actual proper heavy cav. I have phalanxes to their Principes and Hastati. Actually, Principes and Triarii, this is only 2 members of a Hastati. It's frankly insulting. No, it's not just insulting. It's hard to believe that this is considered relatively even. Like, this isn't even 2/3 in my favor. I have 10 command stars to his 5. I have 1,300 units to his 600. More than 2 to 1 outnumbered. I have higher quality units than he does. In what world is this not landslide victory? Oh hey, the Watchtower's on the map. Unfortunately, it's not something that I think I can actually use, but I'm going to try to. Looks like the enemy also wants to get on this Watchtower. I don't think have much in way of convincing them not to. So since they're going to get the high ground just because they start closer to it than I do, what I'm going to do instead is just back away from the high ground entirely to make sure I'm not in missile range. I have all of my heavy cavalry just completely leave. And we're going to do the same thing that we did to that tiny Gallic army to the Senate. We're just going to run a unit around them in circles and waste all of their fatigue. Is this Velites? Oh, it's the Triarii. Unfortunately, this army has, like, dedicated units for stopping this and spears that they can throw from the high ground. So, this doesn't look like it actually works against the Senate, does it? Like, I'm getting some movement, but not nearly enough. I've killed their unit of 2 Hastati. Now, actually looking at what's over here on the hill, I don't think they're actually able to stop me from getting on the hill. Especially if I'm circling with heavy cavalry at the same time. Like, it looks like I can just run up the hill and take up a position here. And sure, I'll take javelins, but we're fighting Rome. That was always going to happen. So yeah, I'm able to move all of my units up and around. But I don't think they're really going to be in position to stop this. Like, if they try, it's not going to go well for them, I don't think. Or, it shouldn't go well for them, but it might due to the fact that, pathfinding tends to be a little bit shit with phalanxes, and they tend to not put their spears down quickly. Okay, so we had a lot of movement from their back ranks. Wait, what are you guys doing? Fuck right off. Your Velites don't get to throw spears at my royal family. My royal family apparently also doesn't get to charge your Velites. I don't know what any of that pathfinding was. I'm just moving these around, have on the exact opposite side of the fight as my royal family. Have my royal family pull out of this at this point, since, you know, 5 command stars may as well be infinite, so Velites aren't going to rout even versus 3 generals' bodyguards. Which is sure as shit not my experience when I'm using them. Oh, god damn it. I was so upset about how different it is to watch Roman generals than my own. Because, like, I actually need to pause. Towards the end of my Julii campaign, I fight Roman generals. I watched enemy Roman generals rout my entire line of Principes with just 1 general unit. So watching 3 generals fail to rout 1 Velites really just highlights how much of the game is complete bullshit in difficulty settings.
Enemy Warlord is dead.
Well, that's a good start.
Slain by your brave warriors.
I want these phalanxes to start moving around the sides of the Watchtower. Warband to stay in reserve. To try to charge here again. I don't need to run that unit down. I just need everyone to get safe. This is Principes, so should be pretty easy to kill it once we figure out where it's going. Where's the last general? I don't actually know. Is it running after my units? It is. So I just want these running away. These phalanxes are no longer relevant, so I want this entire infantry line just running down the hill. And it looks like these generals should be fine. Once they're further away, I'm going to start trying to split them off in different directions so I can actually understand what I need to do. I'm not quite sure what happened with this charge. Okay, so this general should be completely fucked. His charge got intercepted by my own. He's massively outnumbered by equivalent units. These Principes are just not routing because fuck you, that's why. Did we actually kill this general? We did it! Deeply frustrating. Like, one of the main upsides of fighting this battle at all is killing this general. One of these needs to stop and hit that Principe in the back. I'll have infantry come make sure they rout. Not killing him is pretty shit, but oh well. Oh, they stopped routing. But they're in a controlled retreat anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. They're gonna keep leaving. Really? You're trying to retreat and you're not going to rout when you get hit in the back by fucking cavalry charge? Not thrilled about the result of that. They get to keep an almost full unit of Triarii and a general. But it does weaken Rome, and we can just retrain this over the coming turns. Anyway, it's probably worth doing, even if it didn't go as well as I want it to. I'm nowhere near crazy enough to think that I can fight Rome, but maybe... Well, I can abuse one thing. If I've started a siege, they're not allowed to actually be used as reinforcements in a fight. I'm wondering if it's worth risking a family member here to try to get a kill on this general. Like, it's gotta be, right? Generals are such a hassle to deal with. It's gotta be worth risking at least one family member to do this. Because when I attack this, I'm not gonna be able to leave is the problem. I want 2 units of phalanxes and... Yeah, I want 2 units of phalanxes and this silver chevron general. And I'm going to go attack him. Yeah, and he gets no reinforcements, as I expected. Let's fight this on the battle map, and we'll be ending the video after this. Oh. They were just willing to charge. I wasn't expecting this. So I'm going to have these spear warbands charge their general just to pin him, same as this spear warband is effectively doing versus the Triarii, and then flank the general with my cavalry the way I'm flanking the Triarii with my axemen. I got no idea how you guys ended up this spread out. Please collapse on him and hold him still. Imagine just like literally not doing your job at all. Why did they just gain experience? Is it for dying? Anyway, this should hopefully be the kill of the general, and he won't manage to escape a second time this turn.
Enemy warlord flees.
Yeah, got him.
Attack and drive them.
Really well animated cutscene.
The enemy warlord is dead, slain by your brave warriors.
Let's not have my general get involved. It's the only way this battle feels like a failure.
This is no longer a battle. This is a hunt.
Okay. So thanks to the efforts of whoever this man is,
Great victory.
we managed to clear up a unit of Triarii and a general, rather than having that just join Rome's defenses next turn.
We shall rule.
We're gonna have the rest of this army go back to get retrained. And I've been recording for a while now, so that's gonna be the end of this video. This has been rather incoherent, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz. It really helps the channel grow. Anyway, I'll see you around.